Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, step right up. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. $2 for one dart, $5 for three darts. Pop till you drop. Now, these are some of the goofy sayings that people have heard over the years. And the come see the bearded ladies and all that nonsense was maybe a way of the carnival in the past. Nowadays, it's changed quite a bit. Now, an average week on the carnival varies, and everybody's perspective is a little different. My personal experiences on the carnival is I'm third generation. My dad does it, my grandpa does it, and I come from a lot smaller carnival, Midwest Wisconsin specifically, and we don't own many rides. We're not a big show. We play a lot of the small towns every year, so generally speaking, we can't rip people off, because if we rip people off, they're going to remember us. They're not going to want to come back and play our games, ride our rides, eat our food. So that small town personality is what we try to portray, and we are good, moral people with a high level of integrity. Yes, we do need to make a profit. This is a business. Like most business, we need a profit. However, we don't put the extra cost on the people who are most important in the business, which is our customers or patrons. Now, I'm just going to give you kind of an average week in the carnival that I've experienced in my life. And like I said, every carnival owner, employee, their experience is completely unique and different. Asking somebody else, they may give you a general outline of the same thing, but for this scenario where I'm giving you a typical week of the carnival, this is my take. So, starting on Monday, it's not your typical your work week. This is more of a day off, so to speak. Drive day. Now, drive day is going from one location to the next. Now, the ranges vary from 20 miles to 200 plus miles. And like I said, being a smaller carnival, we just travel the state. Granted, we do put on a lot of miles over the state. Some people do what is called a circus jump. And a circus jump is when you move. You have to be open and closed that day. You have to close, tear down, and be set up and ready to go the next day in a location that could be 700 miles away. So basically, nobody gets any rest. People get real ornery, and it can be very stressful. We don't generally put our small carnival in that little situation. Now, drive day can come with its own headaches as well. There's breakdowns. You could have flat tires. You could be broken down on the side of the road. You could be blasting radiator fluid all over the place. So, like I said, it depends on the trucks and the employees. And generally speaking, you want to have a decent set of tools with you at all times, because you never know what could happen, especially putting a lot of miles on hot days. Now, during the travels on Mondays, we stop at truck stops and gas stations. Now, anybody who's traveled with our carnival and other carnivals understand gas station food and truck stop food and want to vomit by the end of the summer, if they traveled in the summer. I generally just travel during the summer. I come home during the winter. Some people go down south during the summer and continue to travel. This wouldn't be for me. I couldn't do it year-round. Just the winter is enough for me. I like to come home and have a little bit more of a steady home life during the winter. Now, filling up on gas station food can be kind of disgusting, so coming home and having a home-cooked meal is good. When we finally do get to our location with all of our trips, and in some cases we have to double back, meaning we drop off a trailer, turn right back around, drive back to the original location, and then bring that trailer right back. And when we bring it back, we can start putting stuff on location. Now, generally, with our carnival, we put the housing on location first. Now, that includes house trailers, campers, motorhomes, and the bunkhouses. And we hook up water and electricity. Now, water can be hooked up with a hose and generally ran, hopefully the shorter the distance, the better, with decent water pressure. It can be ran up to 250, 300 feet in some cases, depending on our location, whether it's a fairgrounds or we're set up in a school parking lot or what have you, so it varies. And then also hooking up for electricity. Most spots guarantee us a good amount of electricity, enough to run air conditioners, so we're not living like animals. What frustrates me the most is when they offer you two little outlets to run several air conditioners on a 100-degree day when you got your kids in the house trailer sweating bullets. A little frustrating. Um, and if time allows and it's a shorter jump to the next spot, get some laundry done, maybe do some grocery shopping. And I guess that varies from town to town too, because if you're in a small town, there might be 4 bars, no laundromat, and one little grocery store that has minimal high-priced items. So it varies. So that's a general Monday for you on the Carnival. Tuesday, if worst case scenario you're still driving, you have to keep driving. You get to the location, you start setting up. I get stuff on location. Whether it's games, rides, food wagons, trailers, generally get the whole carnival set up and everything in the right place. Make sure you have the spacing between the rides, the games, and the food correct. Games, generally restocking and flashing is a carnival terminology for making the game look really nice, setting up where the stuffed animals look like they're in neat order and they make sense. The rides, generally there's 2 types of rides. There's ground mount and trailer rides. Ground mounts tend to be a lot more challenging and they take up a lot more space because a ground mount ride is where the center or the base of the ride actually comes off the semi-trailer and needs to be placed on the ground, leveled in some instances, or most instances need to be leveled. So it's a little bit more time consuming and a little bit more, you need more space to pull it off. And then the other one is trailer mounted rides, where generally it stays on the trailer will stay on the location where it's set, and the ride will generally unfold or be unpinned. It won't have to move at all. So those, generally speaking, are a little bit easier to set up and tear down. Now, food wagons and trailers, getting those on location, obviously you want those in a place where there's the most foot traffic. And then generally setting up the equipment inside there. Wednesday, possible open time depending on the location. During fairs, sometimes we open on Wednesdays. If not, if it's a company picnic or a fireman's picnic, it'll vary for hours. Now, if we have to keep setting up, we'll keep setting up the games, the rides, the food wagon, and all that. All varies on time. So, to say that there's a set schedule is impossible because this is almost, I'd say, about 65 to 75% fly by the seat of your pants, depending on what happens. You need to alter your plans fairly regularly. This is a good time to start maybe some food prep, whether you're spinning cotton candy or you're sticking corn dogs. I mean, the prep for food varies depending on what food items you have. Thursday, let's say we're opening Thursday. So generally we do our safety checklist before open, and we do a midday if needed. It's open, so it's time to make some money, and this is where we make our money. Every other day is getting to the point where we can look presentable and make our stuff operational in order to make money. So opening, and then we do breaks. Now these breaks and then close. Now, when I say breaks, I mean there's not a lot of people who want to work on the carnival seasonal, and when we do find people, and we've had the same people year after year, which we've been very fortunate with, doing a break short-staffed is always challenging. Sometimes they may only get 1 half-hour break during an entire day. So if you're working a 10-hour day, you get a half-hour break, and if they need to go to the bathroom or whatever it is, they may have to leave the ride without an operator and just close it down. If that has to be the case, it has to be the case. So we do have long days. So don't be so hard on your tilt-a-whirl ride operator when he ran to the bathroom and you want to go on the ride, and he's been running the thing for 6 hours straight in 90-degree heat, so you can be a little easy on him. Now, Friday, safety checklist, of course, open, breaks, and close. So you'll see kind of that trend on opening where you're a little bit more in routine and you don't have so much to, there won't be so many variables. So, Saturday, safety checklist, open, break, and close. And then after you close, it's a good time to unwind and sit back and maybe have a few beers, hang out with some of the other workers, and just kind of vent about the day and talk about the day and the location, kind of get everybody's take on how the day went. So it's a good time to unwind, especially after long days. Sunday, a little bit different. You do your safety checklist, you open, do breaks, and generally if it's an early teardown, you're looking at about 5 o'clock. Rarely do we stay open late. Years past, when I was a kid and when my dad was younger, Carnival stayed open pretty late on Sundays. Now, we also tear down on Sundays, so if we stay open late, we will be up really late tearing down. So, for example, if we start tearing down at 5, we might get done at 9 or 10. If we start tearing down at 8 or 9 and we close at 8 or 9, then we might not get done until 2 o'clock in the morning. And if it's 3 or 4 in the morning and we're still tearing down, we are still tearing down. We don't stop. There's no punching out. We stop when the work is done. And then start it all over again. Next town, next location. Time to rerun it.